Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, guys, to episode 9 of our podcast, Deen Thoughts, with your two favorite hosts, Mira and Adam. And today we are starting on a new series, which is the end series, which we're basically going to be talking about what happens when you die, what happens in the grave, what happens in the day of judgment, right? So, all these important aspects of our deen that we very much need to learn about as brothers and sisters of Islam, right? So let's just get right into it. Alrighty, so the first thing that we got on our list is what happens when we die. So this is narrated in Bukhari and Muslim. There are two beautiful angels that will come down from the sky. They
Okay,
are
wait, sorry. I just want to, because before we get into it, like before you state, so Adam's going to be explaining the mu'min side. So what happens when you die as a Muslim, as a believer. So he's going to start explaining what happens when you die. So like literally the moment of your death when you're still in this world. And then I'm going to talk about it for an evil soul. So for the kafirin. Okay, go.
All right, so this is the moment side, right? So two beautiful angels will come down from the sky. They're super bright. They have perfume from paradise and shrouds from paradise. So from Jannah, everything we know from Jannah is perfect, great. This perfume isn't like any other perfume. I believe it's misk, right?
Yeah.
Which is super rare even in this dunya, right? It's something so amazing. So they come out to a pleasure from your Lord. Oh, beautiful, pure soul, come out to the pleasure from your Lord.
So that's what the angels will say. Like I like the ayah that says, Ya ayyatuha nafsul mutma'inna. Oh, you beautiful soul, pure soul, come out to the mercy and the bounty of your Lord. That's what they're
Right.
gonna say when they're taking your soul out.
And then
The
your
soul.
soul will come out like water spilling from a jug smoothly, right? So we know that your soul's gonna come out of your body, and there are two different ways it can come out. It can come out either very smoothly, very nice, and not painful at all, or it could be ripped out of your body, very painfully, right? And that's if you're kafir, obviously. Uh, Number three, after the angel of death takes out the soul, these two angels carry the soul up towards the heaven. All the angels it passes will ask, who is this beautiful soul? And they respond, so and so, son of so and so, with the best names that they were ever called. Obviously, this is something like that you want, right? You want to have the angels be asking, wow, like look at this beautiful soul. You want your soul to be radiant and beautiful as it goes up to Jannah,
No,
inshallah.
smell beautiful. Just the smell of
Just the
mist
smell of it,
will get
right?
them curious.
So, and you want the angels to know your name, right? So, that's just a cool thing to know. Okay, so then what happens is your soul will keep going up every heaven or every sky, right? Because we know that there's seven heavens, and each time it goes up, it will happen again. The angels will ask, "Who's this beautiful soul?" Right? And this will happen until you reach what heaven you're gonna get to, right? So if you're gonna reach the fourth heaven, for example, your soul will keep going up and to the fourth heaven, and the angels will keep asking. Um, then we see that some narrations say that Rabbil Alameen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say to the angels to take your soul and to show it to Jannah, right? Like to show your soul Jannah.
To
Uh,
show it your spot in Jannah. So
right,
there's 7 gates of Jannah, and at every gate there's angels that guard the doors. So what Adam was explaining is that basically when your soul is taken up through the skies and it reaches the gates of Jannah, it will be asked at every single gate, who is this? And if you're permitted to enter in, they will let you enter, and you will stop basically at the level of Jannah that inshallah you will be in. And then when you're there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell them to show them your specific spot in Jannah, like your home or where you're supposed to be. This is a weak narration, but I thought we could still mention it because it's a nice one.
right. Obviously, it's something interesting to look at and something nice to know. Um, then after that, when your body is ready for burial, which is obviously after you do like the ghusl for the body, the soul is taken back to the body, and this is something interesting because as we know, a lot of times we say it.
We say that like when a person is in their grave or like when they're being buried, until the moment you walk away, so like on their janazah, like when you're on their grave and stuff, they can actually hear you. And they can hear your footsteps walking away. So it's like their soul is in their body, in their grave, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to question them. So it's like kind of showing us like this is where it goes down. So when your body is being prepared, all before this, the soul is not in the body. It's like up in the heavens. This is for a mu'min. And then when your body's been prepared and it's been placed in the grave, that's when the soul comes back.
Right. Okay, so so now it's your turn, because we're going to do the kafir side, right? So what happens when you're...
A kafir, yeah. So one thing also that I wanted to mention is that we talk about how like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam from like the soil, from the clay. And subhanAllah, it's just like our bodies brought back to the clay, you know? So like we were created from clay, and to the clay we're going to be put back into, and we're going to be resurrected again from the clay, from the earth and the soil. So that is for a person who is a mu'min, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inshallah to make us all from those who have this beautiful kind of ending. But it's important to take a look at the other side as well. So for someone who is a kafir, who is basically lived their whole life as a kafir, basically the moment you die, you will know where you're going to go. Because a split second before you die, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lifts a veil from your eyes, and like Adam was saying, if you're a mu'min, 2 beautiful angels with shrouds from paradise come towards you. But if you are someone that's destined to Jahannam, there are going to be 2 really scary looking angels that are going to come down from the sky. They are going to have a horrible smelling shroud from Jahannam. Your soul is going to smell so bad. I'm not sure if people around you can smell it. I know with the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, there was a narration that when his soul was taken out, the whole room filled up with misk. But I don't know if it's like that for every person. But it's going to tell this soul, "Oh, you horrendous soul, come out to the punishment and the anger of your Lord." And like Adam said, it's going to come out and it's going to be so painful. It's going to be like separating wet cotton, like in between thorns. It's just going to like, it's going to be so painful.
But also, let me just mention one thing. Is imagine like perspective-wise, you're in this dark grave alone.
We didn't get to the grave yet. Let me finish. We're going to get to the grave.
Oh, you didn't get to the grave?
No, I'm still on my part.
No, but this applies. Like I'm
no,
saying.
Wait,
let me finish.
Okay,
let me finish.
fine.
So then, like, there are these super scary angels, right? So that's what I want to. Anyways,
we're gonna say we're gonna mention that, but before.
Oh my god.
So like the one who is mu'min, their souls are gonna be taken up to the heavens. For this soul, when it reaches the gates of the heavens, the angels are gonna ask, like, who is this soul? It smells disgusting, and they are going to call them by the most horrible names that they were called in this dunya. So like if someone is horrible, like they might be like someone who he was like a fornicator, he was a stealer, he was a drug dealer. They're going to be called by the most horrible names to these most like beautiful and non like ma'asi, and they don't do any mistakes angels. And they're going to not let them get into these heavens, and the soul is actually going to be taken, and like I think some narrations say that it's going to be thrown back onto the earth. So it's going to show you just so much like anger, like the angels don't want to smell it or be near it. And when the body is then prepared and put back into the grave, the soul is put back into the body, and they are going to wish that the people around them are not going to leave, because they know that the minute they hear their footsteps leaving, that it's going to get real, you know? There's going to be the questioning in the grave, which is the second part. So that's what happens when someone's soul dies. So now we're going to move on to what happens in the grave. And Adam is going to focus on, like we said, the mu'mineen, which is inshallah all of us.
Right, so inshallah, may all of us be mu'mineen. Rabbi sabitna adina inshallah. So in the grave, munkar and nakir, which are angels, are creatures that are unknown and even more unknown.
That's what their names mean. So
right.
Munkar is unknown, and nakir is the one that's even more unknown. So it's just like, that's what their meaning is.
Right, and these angels aren't like the pretty angels that we always think of when we think of angels, like Jibreel alayhi salam with all the gems and the pearls, and right. No, these are like scary looking angels, ones that when you see them, you're not going to be happy to see them, right? Like you're going to be scared. Like I said, imagine you're in the grave. The grave is dark. You're alone. You're like, this adds more to the fright, right?
Just before you go on, sorry, I want to mention one thing. These angels are going to look the same to everyone. So whether you're mu'min or you're a disbeliever, They're going to be the same level of scary. They're going to be the same level of like horrific. And before this, the grave is actually going to squeeze us. And it's going to squeeze everyone, both mu'min and kafir. I think there was even a hadith where the companions asked the Prophet, are you even going to have to like go through this squeezing of the grave? And he said yes. And it's basically the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he explained that it's going to squeeze so much that the ribs are going to penetrate each other, that one side of the rib actually is going to enfold upon the other. And he did a movement with his hands where he took his fingers and overlapped them and squished them together. And for those who are kafirin, it's going to be like the most painful thing ever. But for those that are Muslimin, inshallah, we hope that so inshallah it won't be as painful. But yeah, Adam's gonna explain more about Munkar and Nakir.
Right, before you cut me off.
Sorry.
Nah, I'm kidding. But so back to what I was saying about the grave, right? Just to mention one thing, if you're ever feeling, distant from Rabbil Alameen, remember this, imagine this moment, right? That you're dead, you're in the grave, you're alone, you see these two scary angels. It's not a pleasant moment at all. And inshallah, it will definitely get you back to your deen because you're going to be scared from this moment. And their voices of Munkar and Nakir, they're like thunder. And their eyes glitter like lightning. Their teeth are like the horn of a bull. Their hair reaches their feet. The distance between their shoulders is miles apart. There is not even an ounce of mercy inside their hearts. They will carry a hammer of steel. And if all the human and jinn tried to even move it, they would not be able to move it even a millimeter, right? So the reason we bring up these descriptions, obviously to show you how scary they are. Imagine a voice like thunder. Thunder is obviously eyes like lightning,
Piercing,
right? Like thunder. Like obviously it sounds cool now, but like imagine,
like really
like like huge like thunder, like thunders. But if that's just your voice, like constantly
and
talking,
they're carrying a hammer,
right?
And it looks scary, and it's cold and dark, and everyone just left you. You're left alone by yourself.
It's like you have like a nightmare and you imagine like something
you
scary.
can wake up from it,
right? But this one no, like khalas. And this is even scarier than your nightmares probably. Like Allahu alam, but. And they will approach the one in the grave in such a manner that every bone in the body will shiver and faint.
Then they will they will bring them back up. They'll sit them up, and that's when they question them. Out of the fear, their body actually just like faints,
Yeah.
And then they sit them back up to be like, okay, now we got to ask you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent us with a mission.
SubhanAllah. And another thing I want to mention, as a believer, when you're in the grave, you can have a friend. Right, and who is that friend? The Quran, right?
And your good deeds.
And your good deeds, right? So make sure to always remember, read the Quran, because one day, inshallah, it'll pay off. Obviously, it pays off now, but one day it will pay off where you'll see that Quran as a friend in the grave.
So yeah, actually,
to keep you company, right? To give a testimonial like, yeah. This mu'min, he would always read me.
They do that when they sit him up.
Right, yeah.
They'd be like, no, this servant used to read me a lot. And so he would be like a protection between you and these angels.
Definitely.
To be like
inshallah.
Intercession, inshallah, a form of intercession. Okay, so Adam, you want to talk about the 3 questions that get asked in the grave?
Don't you want to do the bad side? The kafir side?
Okay, yeah, I can talk about the kafir side. So, inshallah, so for all of these Muslimin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put sakina, he'll put peace and tranquility in their hearts, because like we said, the Quran will come and attest for them, their salah, their good actions. Actually, I'm going to mention the 3 questions, and then I'm going to talk, because the 3 questions kind of it's the link between what's good and what's bad. Okay? So the 3 questions they're going to be asked when the angels sit you up. It's going to be, who is your Lord? What is your religion? And what do you say about the man that was sent as a messenger amongst you? And some narrations say also what was the book that was sent amongst you? So in order to answer these 3 questions, you can't just sit and memorize the answer now. You have to have lived by these. So you have to have lived knowing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is your Lord. There's no one else, not your money, not your wealth, not your children, not your education.
This is actually important, because you think Rabbil Alameen is my Lord, but some people, without even realizing it, their own nafs can be their Lord, right?
They're
They follow
slave
their
to what their
right,
desires
what
are.
their desires, what they want, what they desire. They desire money. They're slaves to that. You know, they go for the money. Even though you may do your salah, right? You still would rather have money or something like that without even realizing it.
Or like you're sullying, but you're thinking about the
Exactly.
money.
So it's important to always remember to have a clean intention and to remember who really is our Lord and what we really want in this dunya, right? Obviously, money and all these values in this world, right? Fun, happiness, whatever,
Temporary.
right? They're temporary and obviously they're okay to want, but what you should truly want is Rabbil Alameen, His forgiveness, His happiness with you, and a connection and relationship with Rabbil Alameen, so that inshallah we can all go to Jannah, right? So
Yeah. So the next question is, what is your religion? So like Adam was saying, you have to live by these 5 pillars of Islam, the 6 pillars of Iman, to actually be able to answer this question. And what do you say about the messenger that was sent amongst you? So we have to know the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have to live by his sunnah. And so the mu'min, inshallah, he will know how to answer these questions. And after, when they answer these questions correctly, the 2 angels, Munkar and Nakir, will say, "O beautiful soul, rest for what is to come is even better." And then the soul will be told to look to the left, and it will see its spot in Jahannam. We know that every single person right now, we all have a spot in Jahannam and a spot in Jannah. So you will be told to look to the left, and you will see your spot in Jannah, where you would have been. And this person's going to get so scared, like, oh my God, I thought I passed. Like, this spot looks so scary. And then they would be told to look to the right, and they will be shown their spot in Jannah. And then they will feel peace and tranquility, and their grave will become super wide and as far as the eye can see, and it will become like a garden from the gardens of paradise. And a person who is so beautiful, smells so nice, looks so peaceful and calming will come towards you when the angels leave, and you will ask, "Who are you?" And they'll be like, "I am your good deeds. I'm here to keep you company until the day of judgment." And subhanAllah, we are making this person right now. You know, when you're reading Quran, when you're doing salah, you are forming this person that is going to come towards you in the grave and keep you company.
definitely, yeah.
And then this mu'min is going to say, it's going to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make the day of judgment come because it wants to, you know, go to Jannah.
No, I heard actually, I don't know how it's true, but I heard he'll ask Rabbi Amin to like prolong for the day of judgment to come because like he's so comfortable in the grave.
Oh, you're right. I'm mixing it up.
Yeah.
But of course they're probably also excited to get into Jannah. You
But
know?
the point being is after your work pays off, right? Then your grave becomes
Khalas, you're in bliss anyways.
and your grave is
Because you're
nice,
in a garden of
definitely.
paradise, technically.
So the point being, you want to work towards that. You know, you want your grave to. Otherwise, we'll see how the kafir's
Yeah.
grave is. It's not pleasant at all. But one thing I want to actually say the kafir thing, and then I want to mention
Okay.
something.
And then for the person who's a kafir, when they're put in the grave, like we said, the squeeze is going to be so tight, it's going to be painful. Like their ribs are like literally breaking. And then Munkar and Nakir are going to come. We said they're already really scary. And they're going to sit them up after they had fainted, and they're going to ask them, "Who is your Lord? What is your religion? And who is this man that was sent amongst you?" And I heard someone saying that, like, they're not even going to say, "I don't know." They're just going to be like, you know, when you're like,
Right.
You know, like you can't even say it. That's how that they're not even gonna be able to say anything. And they're gonna say, for the believer, they're gonna say sadaqat, you said the truth. For the kafir, then they're gonna say like you lied or that's wrong. I don't remember exactly. And then they're gonna tell them to look to their right, and they're gonna see their spot in Jannah that they would have gotten if they worshipped Allah and they stood by what the Deen had told them to do. And then they're gonna be told to look to their left, and they're gonna see their spot in Jahannam. And their grave is going to become so small and tight, and their grave is going to become from the pits of hellfire. They're going to be burning, and a horrendous looking, really scary, smelly man is going to come, and they're going to be like, "Who are you? Like you bring about bad fortune." And he's going to tell him, "I am your bad deeds," to sit. And you know, like, it's like they're just going to make it more painful.
It's not even company.
Your grave is already from the pits of hellfire. Like, subhanAllah, like, we pass by so many cemeteries, like, Christian or, like, Jewish cemeteries. We don't know, like, what they died upon, what was in their hearts, but, like, just imagine how many people under there are going through adhib, you know, like, throughout their grave. And this is just the state of your grave. We are not even talking about the punishments that are specific to the grave. There are so many punishments that happen within the grave. We're not even talking about those. But it's just scary. Or like, you know that one story where they were like trying to bury someone and they like dug up like 4 different spots, and every single time they dug it up there was like a snake.
Yeah.
And then eventually they were like, the sheikh was like, this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like has decreed for him, so they put him in there.
Yeah.
Like, that's just like the fact that there's a snake, there's something like evil. Or like, I saw this one post on Instagram where it was like someone's grave like was covered with flowers. Their grave, like,
Right.
they didn't even plant flowers,
Right.
like naturally just grew. Like, imagine what this person had done. And like I said, like, we're creating the good person. If la samahallah we are doing evils and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like, we die on a state that's not of iman, we are creating this person.
Definitely.
You know, this person that's gonna come and give you company.
And that's what actually I wanted to mention, right? We still have time right now, guys. We, especially a lot of us are young, right? We still have a lot of time, and just remember, you're gonna regret it one day if you don't use this time for good. So basically, right, you want to take advantage of the time that you have here, and like I was saying, it's always scary to think about Yawm al-Qiyamah. You're not gonna have enough deeds, no matter how many deeds you do. You're not going to have enough deeds to take you to Jannah, right? Obviously, Rabbil Alameen is going to, through His mercy, put you there. But the point being, like, you want to make sure you do as many deeds as possible, because now you have the time, right? Now this temporary life, that's what this life is for. You have the time to do those deeds. But Yawm al-Qiyamah, you're going to regret not having taken advantage of that time, right? So that's just what I wanted to mention.
Also, another thing is the fact that those people that are in their graves, sorry guys, that's my chair. My chair's old. They can't do anything anymore. Like, they can't, unless you make a sadaqah jariyah for them, but like, their deeds are done. What we're doing right now, we're doing our actions, and our actions have no accounting. But when we die, we only have accounting and no actions. In the sense that what you're doing right now, you're going to be asked for it. You're going to be asked why you did things, why you didn't do things. And use this time that you have right now, this life, this wealth, this health. We're still, most of us are really young. You know, there's a hadith that mentions to benefit from 5 before 5. Your wealth before your poverty, your health before your sickness, your youth before your old age, your life before your death. And there's one more that I can't remember right now. But it's a sense that right now we have the chance to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make tawbah, to forgive us. And I got a question from someone to kind of clarify the issue of tawbah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is the beauty of Islam, honestly it is. Tawbah doesn't have to be something that's like very fancy, if that makes sense. Like in Christianity, you have to go confess your sins or something. In Islam, it's simply that you feel regret for something, you put the intention to never do it again. And even if you do it, it's okay. You still should make tawbah for it again, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that you were going to do it.
And don't be shy to make tawbah like today. Like, this should be a wake-up call. Make tawbah today, because you don't know when you're going to die, and you're going to regret not having made tawbah for your sins, right?
And tawbah isn't like, tawbah is basically just like turning to Allah and be like, Ya Allah, I ask for your forgiveness. You could sali 2 rak'ahs, 2 extra rak'ahs, like how you pray any other sunnah prayer, with the intention that it's for tawbah, but you don't have to do that. Basically, just with putting the intention that you're never going to do it again, and you're turning to Allah to ask forgiveness, and you say, Ya Allah, tub alayyi, I ask for your forgiveness. And inshallah, when you actually make tawbah, if it's a complete, sincere tawbah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not only forgive your sins, but He will take all of your bad deeds and make them into good deeds. So in the sense, you're not even just like wasting time, you gain time, you know, because all of those deeds that you done, they got turned into good deeds. So tawbah is just, I don't want to say it's a state of the mind and a state of the heart, but it kind of is. You know, you don't have to necessarily like do salah. You know, like we said, we mentioned like in the episode of mercy, like if you're in a situation or if you're in an environment that's driving you towards doing sins, to leave it, to move away from it, and you might have to like take yourself away from anything that's putting you into sins. But if it's just something that you are voluntary doing, it might just be a thought, like a state of the heart. I hope that clarifies it, but tawbah is just like, it's so simple. And to take this advantage and to take this time that we have right now to do tawbah, and kind of wrapping it up, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he mentioned that the angel that's going to blow the horn, his name is Israfil. His mouth is actually on the trumpet. And his eyes are looking up at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he's just waiting for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give him the signal to blow it. So the day of judgment, yeah, the signs are not, like the major signs have not started. But my dad always used to tell us something, that your day of judgment happens when you pass away. All of these people that are in their graves, yeah, the day of judgment hasn't come for us, but it's come for them. Their deeds are done, their books are closed, and they're being held accountable for every single thing that they did. And that's what we have to understand, and that's what we, inshallah, that's the hope, and that's the main goal of us talking about this end series. It's not to frighten us, but it's to remind us. It is to frighten us, and like, because like they say that with the reminder, there's a benefit. And subhanallah, even in the punishment and the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is mercy. Because when you remember this and you hear about it, it drives you to do good, right? That's a form of mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like it kind of goes back to, like, if there's someone that's doing bad, like if you have a child and he's doing bad thing, you're gonna punish him so he learns not to do it again. And that's the same thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like we talked about in the episode of mercy, He only says in the Quran, I want to forgive you. He doesn't say, I want to punish you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us and telling us these stories, and we get these revelations to better understand what's going to happen, to make the decision now when we are able to be from those who we have gardens of paradise in our graves, and you know, we're not like those who have a horrible ending that the angels don't even want to be near. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, to make us all from those who are the mu'mineen, who our graves are easy, we stay strong and firm on the questioning, and make these dua, guys, because honestly nothing can come about without dua. Ask Allah to keep you firm on your death with La ilaha illallah. There's another hadith that says, whoever says La ilaha illallah when he's dying, dakhala al-jannah. And La ilaha illallah, it's not just like, oh, La ilaha illallah, it's like sincerely, like you understand what it means. La ilaha illallah is such a powerful statement that there's a hadith that says if it was placed on one end of the scale, and I think it was like mountain of Uhud or something was placed on the other, or this whole world, it would be more. Yeah. That statement, but it has to be said with sincerity and true understanding of what it means, that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah.
And another thing actually is, even if you're in your spare time, right, you're watching your show, whatever, easiest way to get deeds is just make tasbih, right? Say alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, astaghfirullah. Even if you want to, like, for example, walk outside, you want to watch a TV show, even instead of wasting your time, make tasbih while you're doing that. That way you're not wasting your time completely, right? Say La ilaha illallah, as we know, like very big, or subhanallah bihamdihi subhanallah al-azim. That there's a hadith that says
you get
that
a tree planted in.
No, not only that, but that those they're light on the tongue but very heavy on the scale because of how important they are, or whatever,
and how beloved they are. Definitely. And like kind of like you're saying, changing everything that we can right now, and because we know there's a hadith that says innamal a'malu binniyat, that all of our actions are going to be judged based on our intentions. So changing every single thing that you do already in your life to base it around an intention that you're gaining reward. So for example, if you're showering so you can become a clean Muslim. You're eating so you can stay a healthy Muslim. You're working out so you can be a strong Muslim. You're emptying the dishwasher so your parents can be pleased with you, because that's a form of worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you're studying so you can become a smart Muslim. Every single thing that we can do, change it so that literally from the moment you wake up to the moment that you sleep, you are gaining hasanat. And just to end it off, there is I'm not sure if it's a saying or if it's a hadith that says, live in this world that when you wake up for Fajr, you don't think you're going to make it to Isha. That this day is going to be your last day, and that this night is going to be your last night. And we've talked about this before. Don't let a night go to sleep where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala might be angry upon you. Try every single night to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness, to forgive all of those that you might have wronged, to ask for forgiveness from other people, to ask for like your parents' ridha and their blessing. And like we said, to use this time right now to change our lives, especially before the blessed month of Ramadan, to change our lives for the better, to set the intention, and inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it easier for us to become from those that are mu'mineen.
Inshallah. Alright guys, that's all for today. It was a bit of a longer episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to email us with any suggestions for future topics.
And don't forget to turn on the post notification button so you guys get notified when we put on new episodes.
Definitely.
And we hope that you guys like this end series. We're going to be talking about the Day of Judgment and all that stuff. So we're getting through this series, kind of focusing on the end, because like we said, it's an important thing for us to know.
Definitely. So inshallah, that's all for today. Assalamu alaikum and peace out.